guys, my name is Vanessa and welcome to Let Afro Talk Show. So today we have
Latifat,
Michael,
Taiwo,
Aishat,
and Desmond.
So we really have a juicy topic today. We're going to talk about African parent and sex education. Wow. So we all have this experience of like African parent and saying that if you touch someone, you've gotten belle, you're pregnant. So yeah, anyways, Taiwo is going to say some things and we're going to discuss about it. So,
Okay, so we know that living in our experiences in an African home is like, when it comes to sex education, is like it's an abomination, among parents, African parents.
Yeah.
So there's so lot of things, many things that when it comes to sex education, parents never wants to discuss.
we don't know a lot.
Yeah.
Imagine when you were growing up, and imagine when growing up. While we were actually growing up, it was kind of like very hard for us to communicate with our parents when it comes to like all these relationship goals, things like that.
We even talk to them about that kind of
Okay, my parents, I didn't really grow like too much with my mom and my dad. Well, it was later I started growing with them. But anyways, I grew up with my auntie, and my auntie always said this: don't let a boy touch you. If he touches you, you'll get pregnant. When you see the boy, go to the other side, run to the other side. That was their sex education. And since then, I don't know, it's still implanted in my head that if I see this boy.
If you see, well, it's kind of like everybody that has that. Well, most African parents, they, when you're growing up, they'll be like, the only advice, they kind of like give this shallow advice about sex education. They don't want to go too deep into it, and the only thing they'll tell you is, don't bring shame to our family.
You're a girl.
And I'm a girl. If a boy touches you, better. You don't carry him.
And I think what they mean by their touch is I think they define. They didn't mean like touch you like this, but they meant, but they didn't want to like explain the meaning of that.
You don't even know what touch means.
So in my own head, I thought touching was like this, but now when I started growing up, I just realized that the meaning of touch was something that they really meant, but they didn't want to like explain that touch. They didn't want to like add. So they went there and said if they touch
I remember what I went like in my class. The one we're reading like a book now. She was like, oh, something, and someone was like, oh, they were sleeping together. She was like, they were sleeping together. Say it's sex. Everybody say, eh?
Yeah.
Say sex. Everybody say sex. Like, hey.
the name that shall not be named.
It's like they got pregnant. You know, like they did. So you never actually see this.
They're showing this African magic and they're showing sex.
Oh, blood of Jesus.
Cover your face. You're not meant to
No. If you don't cover your face, you'll be looking at you like this. So you don't want to cover your face. You want to look at it a bit. So you have to say that.
to watch it, I'll be okay.
Yeah,
I always watch it.
basically, African parents, when it comes to the sex scene, they don't actually want the children to see. But from my own point of view and the way I grew up, I would say that it's not about not making these children see this. It's about educating them and letting them know what is right. Because if you're trying to prohibit them and say don't do this, don't do that, they don't actually know what you're telling them not to do. They have to be educated in that aspect to know self-defense mechanism or things that can prevent them from getting raped or into trouble.
Yeah.
I think they are more focused on like what happened. I'm like, you need to give us training on what we need to do in this situation. That was the problem I actually feel I had with African parents. They are more the protective ones. So.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, you don't have to tell the whole details about sex thing, sex education. But there's some certain things that you just have to let the child know, let them understand. Okay, when a guy and a girl and a guy comes together, that is when they get pregnant. The girl gets pregnant. But it's like African parents is like, if it just touches you, you're gone. Or have you guys ever actually like experienced this one whereby when you were growing up and then you probably a friend from school comes to visit you.
Hey, boy.
Probably a boy. and then he gets home. Everything is fine. Your parent definitely will be like, oh yeah, welcome brother, welcome. And at the end of the day, you see the person.
I know they will smile. They will say, exactly. Like, how are you? Give me something.
Exactly. That's what they say.
You want to something. It's very sarcastic. You know that hey, after they'll be like, they'll smile. If the
You
person don't look
literally know
at you,
you're dying after
they're going to catch you.
you know you're dying after the person.
And then you see
Yeah.
the person off. Oh my god! And coming back home, next thing is question.
Who is that boy?
If they don't even ask the question, even the look on the face even has already like explained the whole this
Yeah.
thing. Like, what is going on?
And I feel like the thing is like, it's not like, oh, exposing, like, it's not like exposing them to seeing like images and all these things. Like, obviously you don't want to expose your children to that kind of life or that kind of lifestyle. You don't want them to think that that's right. But I feel like the emphasis is like talking to your children, like letting them know what is right and what is wrong, like allowing them to get to that level where they can be comfortable with you to tell you everything. I know that I used to read a lot in like Punch newspaper at that time, like always like children like getting assaulted, molested, and
Yeah.
they couldn't go up to their parents to say
tell
this is
the
what was
parents.
going on, because
That's
they
true.
know in a way it's all going to come back to like it is your fault. How is it your fault
They
for
always
getting molested
blame-
or
they always
assaulted?
blame
No,
Like,
the
the
point,
child.
the children don't even know the meaning of being
Yeah.
molested.
They
What
don't
but
do
even
you-
if the parents had like
Yeah.
educated
That's
them
the
like this is what
problem.
is going on, you shouldn't like they don't like go deep. They don't tell you this, like obviously I get
Yeah.
that you don't want to like tell your little kids like, oh, this is like, you know, like get deep into it, but like at least there should be like boundaries, set limits, tell them this is what is going on. Like how are you supposed to know what is right and what is wrong if your parents are not even going to talk about it?
That's
But at the
because-
end of the day, they just want to blame you for it. Like, it doesn't make
The
any
parents,
sense.
I mean, the kids are they don't know, they don't have the knowledge of it. They don't have the knowledge of when, you know, molestation. They don't even have anything. And even if yet they have, you know, parents kind of give this this fear
They put the fear in you.
on
Yeah.
kids, because I mean, as a child, you cannot go up to your mom and tell your mom, mom, this person did. They always blame the kid. They always blame the child. That's one thing.
And
That way
I would
did,
just-
yeah.
but even when it comes to like relationships, like you
Yeah.
can't walk to your parents and tell them
Yeah.
about your boyfriend or the girl you're dating, because you're not even allowed to have that, talk less of talking about the problems you're having in your relationship. So I think these are but me personally, I think it's like the old generation. I think the educated ones are actually exposed, and they let you, because I mean they dated during their time. So
No, they
Actually,
actually
tell you they
African
dated.
parents will be like, I dated for 10 years,
For 10
and
years,
courted
yeah.
for 6 years, and then did engagement for It's like, what is going on? How many years did you know? And you say you married at the age of 24.
yeah,
What is really happening?
Actually, I just think the Nigerian and the African parent, like, they're just trying to like to protect us, like not to be ashamed
Yeah,
to their
they
family.
actually
You're right,
overprotect.
you're right.
Like,
Their
I would
pro-
like to give like an example. Like my mom, when I was in Nigeria, like she always tell me that if I disvirgin a girl, the girl should be the person that I will marry in future. So like what she told me, I'm always scared like to talk to women. Like, I don't want to marry you.
They even put spiritual. Well, I mean, it's
Yes.
true. It can be true. It is actually
I
true.
feel like
though.
What's true?
But like they put kind of spiritual
Like-
talk, like
I was
If you're
always
sharing it
scared
like
to
chest to chest with somebody, that means you guys are going to share
Yeah.
they say it in a Yoruba
Yeah,
way,
in
like,
Yoruba
you know,
way,
in our
like-
native
Problem
language.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
like
means
you're
that
taking the
when you
person's
sleep with the
glory.
girl, like,
your person is taking your blessing or something.
I've never heard it.
This is actually the first
But
time
it's
I'm
actually
hearing about
true.
it.
It's type of
It
thing.
is actually
Yeah.
true.
But that's another topic.
But it's
for
only
us.
That's too deep.
Yes.
It's so
But yes,
I mean, you hearing that one, you yourself, you'll be scared and you wouldn't want to even go. You wouldn't want to even go near it.
But you know that I think
So
that's what
actually
makes
now,
some children like,
we've
oh,
laid-
because my parents said this, I want to try it out, I want to do it. Like, makes some people like very curious, like, oh, like in might not imagine like very curious, like, oh, like in might not, it might just even be like you just want to even disobey them, like, oh, because they said I shouldn't do this,
So-
I actually want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
like people sometimes children are young, they don't.
They're so curious.
Yeah.
Like they want to try different things. If you
Exactly.
don't,
Different things, yeah,
if you
you're
don't
right.
tell them that, oh, this is what is right, this is what is wrong, they are going to find out by themselves.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
school,
At the end of the
like
day,
school,
there's
there's
school, like, there are so
everything.
many people. It's better for you, the parents, to tell them that this is what is right. Tell them the right thing. That for someone outside to, because someone is going to say it, someone else is going to say it, and how are they supposed to know the right thing if the person just says, oh, like this is what you should do, and they are going to do it anyway, and that's not the way to do.
okay. So
My question is even that, like, does it help? Like, does it help a lot of African children? You know, growing up that way. Does it really help?
sometimes yeah, actually,
Sometimes
because
it
some
does.
people are naturally like those people that want to
Stubborn.
get out there
Very
and all that
Yeah,
voice,
right.
but actually the fear that African parents put into you actually give you. I mean, it's not an intrinsic value; it's an extrinsic value. But actually, if you take that deep down, it can help you a lot because
I think it's like 50-50. You know, it helps so many people, and same, it doesn't help a lot of people. Because yes, you're right. Some kids, they're very curious. They just want to be, especially when when you impose things on kids too much, and then you're too overprotective. They feel like and they just have them. Pastors' children are the worst.
Because like they're very like. Their parents are very protective of them, and because of that, like every little opportunity they have, they just want to like. But like you know, it's too much. We can't generalize. It's not everybody that is like that.
I mean, the children are being they're being taught according to what I think I know. They're being taught based on their religion and God's way and stuff like that. But these parents are actually lacking like the social life. That's the point. They are just imposing the religion on them, but they lack the exposure and the knowledge. Like, there are some situations that adults or adolescents should handle that they can't handle properly, because their parents did not expose them to that.
It's one thing to know it, then it's another thing to like actually experience it. Like those are very like two different things. And experience goes a long way. So
and once they just get out of their comfort zone, once they just get out there, it's over. It's over for a child who doesn't, who was not being taught or who was not being, like educated, in a way when they were young. Because they normally, some parents would just be like, don't do it. Why? African parents are actually that kind of person. They'll just say, don't do it. But why? Explain it to the child.
They're afraid to make that the
if they tell you want to. They feel
like
when they tell you want to
a world that everything, social media, you can see things. You can see things, and you go to school, you get exposed. There's no way you cannot.
You see, that's the point. Now you see, most of those parents. Now I'm telling you, trust me, they don't give their children cell phones. They don't allow them to use social media and actually get exposed and know these norms that a grown child is supposed to know. But at the end of the day, they don't. I mean, I think I will agree with what Michael said. They're trying to protect us, but
honest, I kind of understand this African parent, because in my own way, I'm thinking that if I had my own child, how will I tell my child? What will I say to my child? Will I say that, no, I'm just thinking of it now. Like, if I have my child, what will I tell my child? At what age will I now start educating my child about all these things?
I feel like right now it's as young as possible. Like kids of like 2-3 are getting molested. Like I see.
What do you mean in Nigeria? Don't you know what's happening?
My 5-month-old baby was molested.
So I should start telling my child around.
It's like the man that's not that. If a man come and like that's some basic thing that you tell them that no, you don't sit down like this, you don't do like this, you don't dress like this.
But if an African parent sees a child sitting there, close it. You tell the child, my God, you feel like that jump. You feel like
sometimes you feel like
someone on social media.
You feel like you're taking your value away. Like
and you will so scared. You'll be so scared. The baby will just
like you're asking you for purpose. Feel like that.
Okay, daughter, stop sitting down.
You don't sit down like
that's a way to talk to your child. But a child.
African parents are always African parents.
It's like the thing is really an abomination.
I wonder, like, I'm going to grow up like that one, like do things like that to our children. That's the funny thing. Like, we're going to do the same thing.
I know myself. I feel like my I don't say close the door. I might, because
you were trained that way. That's why they're being exposed. That's why you're here. So you're not them.
Actually, I don't think it will happen again. Like to be shouting at
no it still
happens. Right now
it happens. It's still gonna happen to us.
I don't think
sit down and tell the children about this thing. It gets to a point
because we were being trained that way.
This thing, like the girl, she's 8 years old. She was not asking her mom, "Mommy, why is this so and so? Why are we? Why? How was daddy made? I mean, I said, "Was that made? How was I made? Like, what is it that you and daddy always do? You understand?" And she was telling the child like, this African parent, you're dead. How would you ask that question? Where did you go to that question?
What are the ways in which
we can actually empower, or not empower, actually educate and actually let our parents be diverse and open-minded, instill cultural awareness.
You cannot do anything. I mean, like, there's nothing we can do to help
our parents.
Say there's
It's just
nothing
what us we can do to help our children.
It is like
yeah,
it's
we are
in the
gone
blood.
right now.
We're going to
that's
do
what
that.
that's the thing.
We're going to portray that.
You two, you start shouting.
No.
Actually, I think I won't start was like
No,
I won't shout, right?
my mom is an African parent, right? But it wasn't that bad for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably because I was a boy.
Yeah,
So
I
I
They even tell that you are a boy. What is our business? But if they get them, you come here. He was not doing this kind of thing. But everybody's
like I do tell my mom everything, even if I like a girl, I can. I like this girl.
It got to a point.
You know, guess what? African
Just-
parents. You're the only son. They want grandchildren.
Anyways, all in all, our parents are awesome. African parents are wonderful.
Yeah, that's the
best. What they do, how they do it is still because it really helps our life. I mean, look at every one of us now. We're doing good and we're doing great.
Yeah.
So African parents, no matter how it is, but I mean, like, at least a little bit, just try and, you know, try and help
your action every
help the future children.
This my head that many times. Please, let's calm it down.
Okay, so guys, we've come to the end of today's video. We really appreciate it because, I mean, thank you guys for actually coming, for making it. It's really wonderful.
Thank you for
like our video, subscribe.
Thank you, parents. Thank you, African parents. I mean, it's really wonderful having you guys in our lives. And please, we would like you to like, share, and subscribe to our video YouTube channel on the description box down below.
And give us like ideas on what you want us to say next.